Bhaskar Patel. I guess it's right? Yes. Now I invite Toastmaster Varish Patel, our General Evaluator, to have a few words.
Youth Leader of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening. First of all, my sincere apologies for reaching late. Secondly, I would like to thank Toastmaster Surendra Chari for explaining the role of General Evaluator, but I will just add few words to it. Few of you, youth leaders, who are Gaveliers and who have already attended YLP program earlier, might be aware of the evaluation session. For those are new, just let me briefly explain what is evaluation session. Now, evaluation session is the heart of any of the Toastmasters meeting. It is a session whereby every speaker is being evaluated constructively. Important word is constructively. He or she is being briefed about his or her strengths, given positive feedback to overcome his or her shortcomings and to inspire to perform better in the next assignments. So, dear youth leaders, I would request all of you to listen carefully to all of these 7 icebreaker speakers. Will you?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So now are 2 important things to note down. First of all, try to pick one of the strengths of the speaker which has appealed you the most. It could be anything, body gestures, voice, language, anything which appealed you the most. And secondly, just note down one observation where the speaker could have done better. So will you do that?
Yes.
For every speaker. And then later on during the evaluation session, just compare your observations, listening to the evaluators. And indirectly it will help you to understand what is evaluation about, how evaluation is being done. This exercise you are going to do probably in the upcoming meetings, but just to start with, take note of this, at least 2 observations. Ready? Over to you, Youth Leader of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varish Patel. Fellow youth leaders and guests, now it's time to start the prepared speech session. Today we have 7 speakers presenting their icebreaker speeches. The first speaker for tonight is Youth Leader Vishnu Raghuraman. I request first speaker evaluator, DTM Dr. George, to read out the objectives of icebreaker speech.
Youth leaders for the Toastmasters, visitors, guests, all of you, very good afternoon. Youth leader Vishnu Raghuraman is attempting his first speech, icebreaker speech. The objectives are as follows. He should speak before an audience and introduce himself to the audience. He should also be able to discover the speaking skills that he already has. The time allowed is 36 minutes.
Thank you. Dear youth leaders and guests, please note that the objectives remain the same for tonight's speeches. The title of the speech is My Passion. My Passion by Youth Leader Vishnu Raghuraman.
Am I audible? Passion rebuilds the world for you. It makes all things alive and significant, said philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson. Good evening, Toastmasters, youth leaders and guests. I am Vishnu, a 9th grader at International Indian School, Jubail. Do you know that the whole world celebrated my birth? Yes, I was born in the millennium year. My dad, who is an engineer, is always passion personified, be it his commitment to work at petrochemia, toastmastering, or his other love, the game of tennis. One of my passion is to beat him at his game soon in the next 10 years. I have a naughty little brother, Ashwin, a second grader at International Indian School, Jubail. He already has a six-pack build. Do you know how? Being so skinny, he keeps counting his rib bones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. His only passion now is to own an Audi car in future. My caring and loving homemaker mom, who has a bachelor degree in home science and a double post-graduation in literature and philosophy. After dedicating her life to our home, she uses her home science at home and lives literature for her friends who are always online with her on Facebook and WhatsApp. But she uses her philosophy whenever there is an argument with my father. She sings like a bird and I aspire to become one. Her passion in her life to see us all happy in whatever we do like every other mom. I was born in a beautiful city of Madurai in South India. Blessed as the first grandchild of my grandparents, they are always kind and loving. Isn't it always the case, youth leaders?
Yes.
They are much better than our parents, as they never ask you about your homework. I stayed with my grandparents during grade 2, but my parents decided to pull me back when I moved to grade 3. I really miss being with my grandparents, especially with all the homework at my school now. Having talked about everyone's passion at my home, I should frankly tell you that my greatest passion so far has been in trying to find out what I'm most passionate about. While I'm good at my academics, I have a fair knowledge of few languages: English, Hindi, Marathi, Arabic, Tamil, and planning for a few more. My mom's literature seems to be working on me. I just love playing sports, but I'm yet to decide which I'm best at between table tennis, tennis, cricket, and football, as I'm quite good at all of them. My latest passion is to discover my skill in public speaking, and here I am at YLP. Fellow youth leaders, with so much to do in my pursuit for passion, I am yet to zero in on my main focus area. I would like to keep my options open like my parents, but I'm determined about one thing. Whatever I choose to follow, I'll follow passionately and make it significantly alive. Over to you, youth leader of the future.
Thank you, youth leader. Thank you, youth leader Vishnu, for telling about finding your passion. The next speaker for tonight is youth leader Anna Jacob. I request our evaluator, Toastmaster Perry Uncle, to acknowledge his presence. The title of her speech is The Happy Optimist. The Happy Optimist by youth leader Anna Jacob. Mic testing.
Mic testing, am I audible at the back?
Yes.
Respected Toastmasters, fellow youth leaders, and distinguished guests. On the 11th of May 2000, history was created. Do you know why? The billionth baby was born in my country, India. Not me. I, Anna Jacob, arrived a day earlier on the 10th of May, well within the 1 billion limit, and in a way contributed to population control. Before I could take my first baby steps at the place of my birth, Kerala, referred to by many as God's own country, I was whisked off to distant Jubail, where my father, Jacob Kuriakose, worked as a finance manager of Dividend, a multinational firm. I have been a student of IIS Jubail right from my kindergarten to my present 9th grade. School life has been thoroughly enjoyable. Being an extrovert, I have a number of friends at school, and I'm very fond of my teachers, whom I sincerely hope feel the same way too. I've taken part in sports and cultural activities, won many prizes, have once been the captain of my house, and have done well academically. I enjoy playing the keyboard and reading Percy Jackson novels. I love helping people and someday hope to be a caring and compassionate doctor. An event in my life that I would like to share with you was a time when I was sick with chicken pox while on vacation to India. The marks all over my face and body, which I thought would never go away, frightened me. As I cried out with fear, my grandfather told me, "It's only a minor problem and you'll soon be all right. But remember, there'll be many a problem that life will throw at you again. To be afraid in such circumstances is only natural. But never allow fear to overcome you. Learn to conquer fear by looking for solution to problems. For no one's life is a bed of roses. Be prepared for the thorns and learn to build your defenses." My grandfather is no more, but his words were a lesson on life itself that I would cherish forever. My home is a place of fun and warmth. My mother, Sheba, is an adorable person and has taken great care to teach me to be a person of value. My father, with his interest in dramatics, can be quite an entertainer if he's in the right mood. I am their little princess, their pet, but the hero is always my elder brother, Kuriakose, who is a regular class topper and a champion speaker. I have always looked for a chance to get a step ahead of him. And opportunity came when I was selected to represent the school in athletics at the 23rd cluster meet in Riyadh. To my delight, I got a bronze medal in the relay and for once felt was a step ahead of him. No sooner had this thought crossed my mind, my brother appeared in Riyadh to represent the school at the senior debate. He came, he spoke, and won the first place. Soon congratulations started pouring in. Not to me, but to him. His name and picture appeared in the newspapers. And nobody even noticed my bronze medal. "This is not fair up," I cried to my father. "I too can speak well. Why? I can talk for hours without any preparation on anything and everything." "That, my dear, is just chit-chat," said my father. "But communication is wider in scope and can bring about a transformation in you. You too can become good at it. Work hard and aim high. For as Charlie Chaplin once said, you'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down. So here I am, dear friends, to learn this magical art and hope that the skills I learned in the use of words can build beautiful bridges with diverse sections, create lasting friendship, and someday match my brother in his own game as well. Till then, I remain the ever happy optimist. Over to you.
Thank you, youth leader, for telling about your experiences in life. The next speaker is youth leader Sandeep Sena. I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Manivannan, to acknowledge his presence. The title of the speech is My Adventures with Determination. My Adventures with Determination by youth leader Sandeep Sena.
Am I audible at the back?
Good evening, everyone. It's just a humble request for all of you to kindly switch off your cell phones. It might distract the speaker who is on stage. So I'm humbly requesting every one of you to kindly switch off your cell phones. Thank you.
Fellow youth leaders, do you all agree with me that we all want to be successful in all our endeavors? Yes. But there's one problem. It's the enormous competition, and there is only one quality that separates the best from the rest. Distinguished Toastmasters, fellow youth leaders, and wonderful guests, good evening. Good evening. According to my mom, the first thing she noticed when I was born on the warm night of the 28th of August, 1999, were my gleaming eyes. These days, I protect them with glasses. As a toddler, I, like most of you, had the notorious reputation of being hyper and a nightmare for my mother. We are a family of 4 and like to call ourselves the 4S family. Do you know why? My dad, Sainath, my mom, Shalini, my little sister, Sahana, and yours truly, Sandeep. All of our names start with an S. And I am the biggest S of the family. Want to know why? Yes. I always say yes to my mom's homework demands, yes to my dad's discipline demands, and yes to even my little sister's TV remote and iPad demands. But invariably, all of them say a big no to my demands. Except for the demand that I wanted to join YLP. I grew up in Jubail, where I spent the first 11 years of my life. And after 8 years of apartment life, we moved to the most fun home I've ever had, Oasis Compound, where the spirit of friendship made me feel extremely buoyant. We had a lot of great neighbors from various parts of India, and I had a friend in every home. And it was indeed a very sad moment for us all when my family had to relocate to Al-Khobar. Nevertheless, everything happens for the best, and I moved to my best school so far, ISG Tehran. I also proved myself in my new school by being recognized with the US President's Award for Academic Excellence in my very first year itself. Also, thankfully, I made a lot of good friends over there. I keep challenging myself over and over again, and this has proved to be extremely beneficial for me in more ways than I can count. Determination has played a very important role in this journey, as it has helped me to improve as well as get a better paradigm of myself. This has helped me to focus and achieve. My repeated success in the UCMAS International Mental Arithmetic Competition in Malaysia is nothing but the result of my continued hard work and my fuel, determination. This particular value means a lot to me, and I do owe it big time. I'm sure that all of us youth leaders are here because of our strong determination to run the full mile and reap the best possible results out of this unique program. Am I right, youth leaders?
Yes.
Finally, as a sportsman, I would like to quote Jesse Owens, a 4-time Olympic gold medalist in sprinting. He once said, "We all have dreams, but in order to make those dreams come into reality, it takes an awful lot of determination, dedication, self-discipline, and effort." Over to you, Youth Leader Peter.
Thank you, Youth Leader Sandeep, for telling us how you achieve challenges with determination. The next speaker is Youth Leader Jisha Jibichan. I request our evaluator, Madam Toastmaster Anamika, to acknowledge her presence. The title of her speech is The Birth of Millennium Girl. The Birth of Millennium Girl by Youth Leader Jisha Jibichan.
Am I audible? Respected Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and fellow youth leaders, a warm good evening to one and all. The birth of a millennium girl. I, Jisha Jibichan, stand proudly in front of you to share the pride of being one among a rare group of children that were born on the millennium year. My short-tempered, yet sweet mother, Mrs. Shaili Jibichan, a keen follower of Florence Nightingale, went for normal duty to Jubilee General Hospital, only to return after 2 days with a cute little baby in her hands. That baby, born on 4th of April 2000 in this holy land of Saudi Arabia, was none other than me. Dear friends, I forgot to add one thing. My gentle father, Mr. Jibichan Anthony, was so relieved that I was not born on 1st of April. Otherwise, on every April Fool's Day, my friends would start saying, "Hey Jisha, it's your day." Talking about my name, I do want to mention here on how I got this name. According to a typical custom in most parts of my motherland, my parents decided to merge the starting letters of their name and named me Jisha. But by virtue of luck, my name Jisha actually has a meaning, and it comes from a Spanish word that means very beautiful and intelligent. Intelligent? Yes, friends. While any normal kid could differentiate between the numbers 6 and 9 in kindergarten, it took me till 2nd grade to differentiate between 6 and 9. I was very naughty, yet a helpful child. My mother often found it difficult to go to her duty on time, as I voluntarily would clean her shoes by dipping it fully in water and keeping it back in its place fully wet. This actually became my part-time hobby. Another interesting hobby that I had was to paint my face fully with all the available makeup sets. Sometimes my own mother could not recognize me after all that makeup. My parents hail from the beautiful land, Kerala, in India, often referred to as, any guesses?
God's country.
Yes, God's own country. My native place is in the heart of Kerala, which is Kuttanad in Alappuzha district. Our house is in the banks of great holy river, Pamba. It is a famous tourist spot with huge houseboats moving through the river. Every year, during my vacation to India, snake boat races would be conducted in this river. I'm so fascinated with my native place, and so vacations in my native place with my grandparents and relatives have always given me great pleasure. After a long duration of being alone, at last, my prayers for getting a close companion came true when my mother gave birth to my sweet little sister, just now. After her birth, I recognized that I have someone who always stands beside me, share with me, and of course, fights with me for that extra piece of chicken. At the age of 4, I joined International Indian School in Al Jubail and is now studying in 9th. During my tenure, I'm proud to say that I have held several positions which have helped me to improve my communication and leadership skills. I was the captain of Emerald House in 8th grade, and it was a moment of pride in my life. Even though I took long time to learn those numbers in my childhood, maths is my favorite subject now. If you ask me what my ambition is, well, I need at least 2 years to tell you, because at the moment, I'm pretty confused. To be frank, I'm very nervous in giving any speeches on this big crowd. In fact, I'm working on calming my nervousness, speaking with more confidence, and find a better leader in me. And I firmly believe that no other platform is better than this youth leadership program in achieving my goal and learn by watching such talented youth leaders. Thanks a lot to Eddie Toastmaster Club to give me the chance to participate in such a wonderful program. Thank you all. On to Youth Leader Anna.
Thank you, Youth Leader Jisha, for telling you about your interesting but mysterious job. The next speaker is Youth Leader Dhruv Gupta. I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Santosh John, to acknowledge his presence. The title of the speech is It Is Not an Icebreaker. It is not an icebreaker by Youth Leader Dhruv Gupta.
I'm audible.
I'm audible at the back? Thank you. Today, I don't want to give an icebreaker speech. I'm a peace-loving person and cannot associate myself with the term breaking. I'm also a science enthusiast and know that the easier way to get rid of ice, simply melt it. Youth leader of the day, fellow youth leaders, distinguished Toastmasters, respected parents, and dear guests, a very warm good evening to you all. Warm is the key word today, as I, Dhruv Gupta, will present an ice melting speech. I hope the warmth between us will not only melt, but evaporate the ice. William Goldman, a famous philosopher, once said, "Life is pain." And he realized this fact with grey hair and wrinkles, whereas I came to the same conclusion when I was barely 1 year old. Every time my parents used to take me to the hospital for vaccination, I used to say to myself, yes, life is pain. My life started on 11 July 2000 in the historic city of Kolkata, which is on the eastern side of India. Yet, I spent most of my young childhood in the totally opposite side of India, in the city of Surat. I had a fine childhood where I used to sleep all day and my parents barely 1 hour at night. Do you know why? Because I used to wake up at 2 a.m. in the night and force my parents to play cricket with me almost each and every night. From Surat, we moved to Saudi Arabia in the year 2003. Today, I'm in Al Hassan International School, Jubail, in grade 8. There are two subjects that I like a lot, maths and science. Math creates a magic with numbers, and science, well, it just explains the world around us and the nature of everything around us. Talking about science brings me to what my ambitions are and how they changed over time. I was a 5-year-old boy living with my parents in Italy. One fine day, my father asked me, "Dhruv, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I had no answer. It was another fine day, but 1 year later that I got my answer. I was looking up at the black sky, looking at the shining stars, looking at the gleaming moon. Then I asked my father, "Dad, what is there among the stars, behind the black sky?" My father calmly replied. Then I asked him the question. My father calmly replied again. I kept on asking questions and my father kept on replying till he had no answer left. And then, friends, I made up my mind. I told my father, "Dad, when I grow up, I want to be an astronaut so I can go up and find what is there among the stars and who lives on those stars." My father just looked at me and he smiled. As I grew up, my ambitions changed over time. My fascination for science and love of humanity made me want to become a scientist. My vision was to see Earth as a better place. I thought, why look for heaven elsewhere in outer space when we can make heaven right here on Earth? So friends, some of you might be asking yourself, well, how are my ambitions of being an astronaut and being a scientist be related to each other? Well, they both are related to one simple concept: finding the unknown. As an astronaut, I had a mission of going up to space and finding unknown worlds. Whereas, as a scientist, I have the mission of creating and finding out new answers so Earth can become a better place. Apart from maths and science, I do love a sport in particular. So friends, can you guess which sport that is? Yes, no points for guessing it right. It is cricket. I love watching cricket as much as I love playing cricket. Although luckily for my parents, I don't play at 2 a.m. anymore. I also love reading and cooking. You should know that my mother fears me the most when I'm in my innovative mode in the kitchen. Thankfully for me, reading is something safe that I can do. So friends, when I don't play with science, I play cricket. And when I don't play cricket, I either read books or cook. And when I don't do any of these, I wish I'm with my fellow youth leaders. It's wonderful and inspiring Wild Peak Club. On to you, youth leader.
Thank you, Youth Leader Dhruv, for telling about your changing ambitions. The next speaker is Youth Leader Shika Suresh. I request our evaluator, Toastmaster Surinder Chari, to acknowledge his presence. The title of her speech is Finding Me. Finding Me by Youth Leader Shika Suresh.
journey to find myself began from the day I was born 14 years ago. On a pleasant afternoon of August 19, 1999, in the garden city of India, Bangalore. Youth leader of the day, respected Toastmasters, fellow youth leaders, and guests, good evening. The journey started at Bangalore, but where do I belong? I still have to find out. Do you know why? Though my family is originally from Kerala, my father was born and raised in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh, and my mother born and raised in Bangalore. So, our family is a complete mix of 3 states and is a complete cosmopolitan culture, where the members speak Kannada, Telugu, Malayalam, and with English as the link language. So, where do I belong? To India, I guess. Now, with so many languages being spoken at a time at home, I was totally confused and became a late talker. But my mom says, once I started, I have never stopped. When I was just 1.5 years old, we moved to Saudi Arabia to join my father. I later joined the International Indian School, Al Jubair, and made new friends. And with each friendship, I began to discover myself much better. My parents have a passion for traveling. So when I was just 7 years old, we traveled to the distant lands of Egypt. I discovered my love for Egyptian mythology this trip. Now, with my parents being voracious readers, it's no surprise that I took the books like a fish to water. I discovered a whole new world of excitement, adventure, and thrill. I also found out the amazing facts of Egyptian, Greek, and Indian mythology. Rick Riordan became my favorite writer of all time, and I would spend not minutes, hours reading his books and imagining myself fighting like a demigod and living during those times. My mother is my greatest support. She was initially a kindergarten teacher, but who's now focused on being a homemaker and whose focus is to keep me and my brother focused on our studies. My dad is my backbone, and he always supports me in everything that I do. And I have no qualms in admitting that I'm a daddy's girl. He dotes on me and my brother, and I love the time that I spend with him. I share passions with both my parents. While my father and I love singing and speaking, my mother and I love sketching and painting. My mother has taught me to be self-reliant and strong, and my father always expects me to excel in all that I do. He has helped me in finding myself and finding my dreams again and again. My brother is 3 years older than me, yet, to tell you the truth, I try to be the boss. This ends up in everyday fights, which I always enjoy. We are siblings, but as different as day and night. They say that yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery. What this mystery will finally offer me, only time will tell. But as for the present, I'm currently confused between my ambitions of being a fashion designer, a journalist, or a best-selling author. So, I try my hand in all of them. While I'm free, if I'm not watching football matches, I'm either drawing designs of fashion or currently working on the current news story idea that I have. It's an original piece that I someday hope to publish. I joined the prestigious elite YLP to find my voice and speak, just like my dad. And I know, with the support of our dedicated youth YLP coordinator, Perry Uncle, and with the wonderful Toastmasters' help, I will find my voice and face the world. Will you support me? Yes. Youth leader of the day.
for tonight is Youth Leader Nitya Mittal. I request our evaluator, Toastmaster Digambar Takli, to acknowledge his presence. Where is he? Please note that there is a change in the evaluator of Nitya. It will be Toastmaster Venkat Devraj now. The title of her speech is Exploring Myself. Exploring Myself by Youth Leader Nitya Mittal.
Respected Toastmasters, dignitaries, parents, and all my dear friends, a very warm good evening to one and all.
Good evening.
My name is Nitya. Does anyone know what it means? Anyone here? Okay, I'll tell you. It is the name of an Indian goddess. But I was not Nitya from the beginning. Puzzled. Actually, my parents named me Manalika by joining both of their names, Manoj and Tulika. However, they changed it to Nitya since Manalika isn't a meaningful name. So friends, while you were all changing toys as a child, I happened to change my name too. When I was 4 years old, my parents gifted me a cute little brother, Sakshi. I was so delighted to have a toy that was alive and ready to play with me. I also felt happy that I would no longer be the youngest member in my family and would have someone to worry. However, my dream was soon broken as I started to notice that he was getting his way all the time with everybody in the family with his cute face and big tears. Sadly, Saksham became the new boss in the family. Although I accepted the transition of becoming a family of 4 from a family of 3 quite easily, I could not get accustomed to another big change in my life. The change came about when I was 7 years old and our family shifted to Saudi Arabia from India. Leaving my friends, my family, my home wasn't easy for me. But at the same time, I was also excited to visit a new country, make new friends, learn about a new culture. And what fascinated me the most was the fact that I was going to enjoy a 2-day weekend now that was missing in India. And I started using this extra time to devote my energy into hobbies such as drawing, painting, learning new games, etc. I always wondered how a few strings of guitar could create such beautiful melodies. And to know the hidden secret behind it, I started learning it. I am crazy about reading books. My favorites are science fiction like Divergent, Percy Jackson, etc. and detective novels like Sherlock Holmes. The detective novels thrill me as I get into the character and try to solve the mystery myself before reaching to the conclusion. Another milestone came into my life as I joined the UC classes. Despite my initial hesitance, I joined it only to be pleasantly surprised later. The UC did not only improve my speed and accuracy in solving complex mathematical problems, but also taught me how to concentrate better. I think my parents have given me the best of everything. I can't thank them enough for their immense love and encouragement in all my achievements and their constant support during my failures. But friends, not all of us are equally blessed. Many people in this world suffer a lot, and that hurts me. That is why I aspire to become a lawyer when I grow up, so that I can bring justice and equality to the society. I don't merely want to earn a living, I want to help the needy. And this is my idea of serving this world. I was extremely excited as well as a little nervous when joining YLP. However, I am determined to overcome my fears and hone my communication skills under the guidance of experienced mentors. My first interaction with elite Toastmasters reinforced my conviction that it is going to be another stepping stone towards success in my life. And I am confident that someday, somewhere, I am going to deliver a speech on how my father gifted me violently and changed my life. Over to you, Youth Leader Abdul.
Thank you, Youth Leader Nitya, for telling us about how you want to serve others. The youth leaders and guests, didn't you all enjoy this fantastic session? Yes. Don't you think these young talented youths are capable of being our future leaders? Yes. Let us present each one of them an energetic round of applause. May I request the timer to submit his reports? All the youth leaders who presented their icebreakers are qualified. Now I request vote counter youth leader Hazim Sani to collect the votes.
You can write yours, you can tell. Last one is the best way. Write your name.